Welcome back to the flight deck. This is S. Ladybug, the pilot of Yarn Movement and the executive director of Believe in What You Dream. You are in the right place if you are looking to master the power of the stitch. Hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a flight. For today's Stitch Shop, we will be making granny squares. Start by gathering your materials. You will need an assorted bunch of yarn. I selected 5 colors because I love to end with black. I have a I-9 hook, a pair of scissors, and of course you need a set of hands. Start by making a slip knot. Now you want to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and join together with the first chain with a slip stitch, and chain up 3, and you want to do 2 double crochet. So that's 1, and you want to do 1 more double crochet. And you chain 1, and you want to do your next cluster. So a cluster is of 3 double crochet stitches. Again, so in that same place in the center, you want to do 3 double crochets back to back. So that's 2. Do a third one, and then you just want to do 1 chain. Now you have a choice. You can do 2 chains. I like to do 1 just because I like to keep everything kind of tight. Then you want to do another cluster. One chain, then do your final cluster. One chain, and you want to join to the beginning with a slip knot. Remember to always, when you're getting ready to switch colors, leave about 1 inch to 2 inches of yarn in between so you don't cut too close and you have enough room to kind of secure your yarn for the previous row. And voila! That's your first color, your first row, and move on to your next color. I chose pink. Same deal, you're gonna make a slip knot, and you wanna join together with a slip stitch and chain up 2 or 3. Your 3 chains kind of serve as your double crochet. In the first row we did chain up 2 in the beginning, just because again want to kind of keep it tight to start off with, especially since we're using an I-9. We want to keep the space down. You can feel free to use anywhere between an I-9 to maybe down to an H. And in each corner you're going to do 3 double crochet stitches. I'm going to slow this down some so you can really see. So each corner you're going to do double clusters and 2 chains in between. So cluster, 2 chains, cluster. Cluster, 2 chains, cluster. So that is a total of 3 crochet stitches, 2 chains, and another cluster, all in the same corner. And you just want to repeat until you find yourself in the final corner. You should have 4 corners because we are making a square, and you want to secure with a slip stitch Actually, I do 3 slip stitches to get you back to the main corner. Again, make sure you have about 1 to 2 inches of yarn before you decide to make your snip, because again, you want to have enough space and enough yarn to secure a knot. And that concludes row 2. You want to move on to row 3. You should have something that is beginning to look like a square. Definitely have 4 corners. Do a slip knot, join in your main corner. I always like to start and end in the same corner. You're chaining up 2 or 3. Do 2 double crochets in that same space. Do 2 chains, and you want to do 3 double crochets again to finish up your cluster. As you see, I'm kind of tucking in the yarn as I move on. It makes it easier towards the end when it gets ready for you to thread or weave back in your ends. Do a cluster in between, and then you hit the next corner and you're going to do again a cluster, 2 chains, a cluster in that corner. And you just want to repeat until you get all the way to the other side. Now, since you have increased, because this is row 3, you're going to have a cluster in between before you get to your next corner. So make sure to remember to put a cluster in between, or you're going to have a lopsided square, and you don't want that. I don't think you want that, at least. So we got to our final corner, and you're just gonna do a few slip stitches until you get to that corner. Then you want to cut off. Look how beautiful that looks. I hope you all are selecting colors that, you know, really inspire you. I'm inspired by bright colors, so I love using bright colors, and I love using some gradients of some type, so that's why I started with red to move to pink. And now we are going to move to blue. Here we go with blue. So again, to start off, you're going to do a slip knot. Going to join in the main corner that you ended with. Again, we like to start and end in the same corner. Chain up 3. Do a crochet, double crochet twice, chain up 1 or 2. It's up to you. Again, just determine on how, you know, big you want your corner space to be. And so this time you're going to have 2 clusters in between your corners, because we have went ahead and elevated into row 4, and so we have more space. So you hit a corner again, and you want to do a cluster of 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and you're going to chain 1 or 2. I'm doing 1. Again, you know, it's kind of a personal choice and style thing. In the next space, you're going to put another crochet, double crochet cluster. Gonna put a crochet cluster there until you get to your next corner. Cluster, single chain, cluster, cluster, single chain, cluster. And you just want to repeat until you get to an end. So when you get to that final beginning, you're gonna just do some single stitches all the way up to the corner. Cut your yarn 1 to 2 inches, pull and secure. Okay, so as the final color, I like to stay traditional with the granny squares by putting black on the end. Black just allows it to really pop out, especially with the colors that were selected. Plus, I just like this style. You start off just as we did every other row. Start off with a slip knot, chain up 3, double crochet. Double crochet. Let's try that again. Double crochet, 1 single chain in between, another cluster of 3 double crochets, cluster in the next space or gap, and you want to continue that until you get all the way around to the beginning, and I am going to meet you there. So we have made it all the way around to our beginning. Did some slip knots all the way to the corner. Cut your yarn 1 to 2 inches. Secure in place. Weave back your ends. I like to make it a little extra secure here and tie the 2 black ends together from the beginning to where we just ended, just to create an extra knot. Then you can feel free to snip from there because you are triple double secured. And voila! This is today's granny square. Thank you so much for joining us. The granny squares are a very important symbol of my journey as a crocheter, but also they represent believing what you dream. They represent that little girl when I was 9 years old. I learned to crochet, and helping in that same spirit to empower girls all over the world to do the same. Granny squares are being used as our fundamental way of raising money to maintain our many activations in now 7 different countries, and having your support is very important. If you're interested in hearing more about believing in what you dream and our work with young girls to help them discover their superpowers, please click the link connected to this video or visit donate.yarnmovement.com. Hope you enjoyed today's Stitch Shop. We look forward to our next up and coming flight. Be sure to click that red button along with the bell so you don't miss out on any more flights moving forward. This is S. Ladybug, pilot of Yarn Movement, signing out.